Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 2.11% to 39,239. Ethereum up 1.54% to 2888. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. Thank you for being part of our globally extended family. I very much appreciate you being here. What we've just done is go for a quick bolt through the crypto market, and we can see some particular cryptos are doing really well today. Ape continues its carnage upwards, up 10.12%, and GMT is also doing really well, up nearly 15%. I've left links in the description of this video, such as the links to the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass, our official NFTs, and also the tax software I use and the trading software I use, charting and trading exchanges, and there's quite a few other neat things in there as well. As a community, we focus on real wealth and maintaining a positive excellence life trend. The maintenance of inner peace and outer peace is really important. Many people don't have inner peace. That's why they get into conflict and create a lack of outer peace. When you're dealing with such high conflict individuals, it's really important to be kind to yourself and especially not take the bait. Focus is an incredibly important point when you come to looking at positive excellence in a life trend. Having persistence and commitment means that you don't give time to things that are just a waste of time. When people get into conflict, they're wasting their own time. Don't let them waste yours. Okay, let's have a look at some key news. ApeCoin is going bananas, and the Bored Ape Yacht Club metaverse project called Other Side expects to launch April 30th. We can expect a little bit more positive price momentum for the next couple of days at least, but be aware, price moves in waves. And nothing is guaranteed in the crypto market or any other market for that matter. Bitcoin whales bought $1.6 billion of Bitcoin since the drop a couple of days ago, and that's more than 40,000 Bitcoin. Whilst retail investors and traders were fleeing from the crypto market, the whales were stepping in, and their beloved arms caught all of those sale orders. Now, what we want to do is not give the whales the advantage. We need to change our perspectives on how we actually invest and trade. And we know all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. I'll cover this a little bit later on. A Bitcoin ATM was installed in the Mexican Senate building. Woohoo! Gala Games, a blockchain gaming company, and Endless AI. And Endless AI is quite well respected in the gaming industry as well. They've actually combined those intersection of those AI and blockchain, and they've created a thing called Fuzzle. And Fuzzle is a digital pet which will be released. It's just being released now, and it's pretty expensive. Depending on the price that you get in on, they're around $2,000 right now. So each Fuzzle is not cheap, but they are selling. Coinbase has announced the listing of Stepan's dual tokens GMT and GST. They're supported on the Solana network, just keep that one in mind. And BUSD has gone live on Coinbase. Well done, Binance. In other news, the United Arab Emirates is at it again. They're just adopting crypto right, left and center. And Dubai-based real estate giant Damak Properties, nearly just in excess of $800 million in revenue, announced that it is adding Bitcoin and Ethereum as new payment options. This is really significant because what it shows is adoption, and we spoke a lot about adoption in yesterday's episode, and it's also going to invest 100 million USD to build virtual cities in the metaverse and sees this as part of its digital transformation program. In management consulting, digital transformation is really significant. It's all about going digital, getting rid of the paper full office and going paperless. Now we can see this digital mirroring. This is really important because the major management consulting firms will start to take up crypto as a digital transformation tool. Just watch this space. This is actually really exciting. Joining El Salvador, Central African Republic, just this area here in Africa, has adopted Bitcoin as an official currency. The presidency said on Wednesday it's become the first country in Africa to do so and the second country in the world. Hang on to your seats, everybody. This is happening. I'd like to explain BORSOG a little bit more. When people first look at BORSOG, they kind of don't understand it. It's easy to understand in one sense, from a 1,000-foot view. You can say, well, buy on red, SOG, sell on green. That feels really, really unnatural to do that. That's rule 621. What actually happens is a lot of people say, no, you shouldn't buy on red. You should only buy on green. Now, what does those people mean? When you come to any financial market, people have different levels of knowledge and expertise. The whales understand retail psychology. That's why they leaned in and bought $1.6 billion worth of Bitcoin as people were fleeing the crypto market. The crypto market was blood red yesterday, but what do we see today? Oh, yes, we've got a little bit of red, no doubt, in there, but most things are green. This is why we always must understand price is always moving in a wave. Institutional investors, smart money, don't want you to BORSOG because that's what they're doing. Institutions want you to get caught up in this hype cycle. They want you to feel emotion. They want that emotion to take over your thought and decision-making process. Smart money doesn't do that. They run the numbers. They know what they're doing, and they're unemotional because they are professionals. Free Dentist, a beloved community member, did this comment yesterday. Up or down, it doesn't matter to me. Fear has no impact on me. I don't panic. I'm buying much more cheaply, starting to have fun while trading and getting really excited to see my orders being executed while I'm sleeping. What is this all about? This is the absence of fear in a very, very red day. I'd like to give you an analogy. Many people drive, so let's talk about driving as a comparison to BORSOGing. Many people think that you just get in the car and you just drive. You've got a steering wheel, you've got an accelerator, you've got a brake, you've got the gears, so you just pop in and it's all going to work. But actually, emotional control becomes a very big issue. If people want instant gratification, they're going to be on their phones whilst they're driving. If they get angry at other drivers, they don't have emotional control, and that creates not only accidents, but high blood pressure, stress, all sorts of things, conflict, fights. It's not good, and maybe even prison. And you can see when people lose emotional control. Look at this guy. He's tailgating this guy. He could just pop up here and just be on his way. But somehow he's got upset. And that emotion is driving his decision making. And what about these crash test dummies? What are they doing? Look at this guy. He's a really bad dummy. He's on the mobile phone while smoking and drinking. How is he driving? Oh, maybe he's got a Tesla. And what about when it comes to parking a car? Oh, that's easy. You've got a couple of lines and you just park your car. Whoops, what's this guy doing? He's taking 2 car spots. Oh, that's not very nice. What about this guy? Well, he's just jammed up against the other car. Well, you could say he's parked in the spot, but he hasn't done a very good job. Oh, what about this guy? His car. How did he get his car in there? The officer is saying, oh my God, not another one. Just as everyone can drive and park, not all people drive well or park well, and people can understand BORSOG from a high-level perspective. Buying on red and selling on green isn't a complex concept, but it takes knowledge, just like driving a car, just like parking a car. It takes emotional control. If your emotions take you over when you trade or invest, and we know all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell, that is a big problem. And also remember, some people don't want you to succeed. They want you to be fearful. They actually don't want you to borsog. Why wouldn't they want you to borsog? Because the institutional investment perspective is that they're doing it. Remember that $1.6 billion worth of Bitcoin. Can you imagine if people were borsogging and that was widespread? The actual institutions would play on a level playing field. Wouldn't that be nice? Just a quick back of the envelope calculation. That 1.6 billion that the institutions put in yesterday, if Bitcoin came up about 2%, it came up a little bit more, but just let's use 2%. They made $32 million. Just bear in mind, they get the percentages to work for them, not against them. Now, how do you get the knowledge of how to borsog? You must be able to mark up your charts and know what you're doing. Just looking at a chart and saying, I'm going to buy here, won't cut it. We also need to look at outside trends, go and find the market's focus, get absolutely our emotional control under control. You can see with driving and parking, people that do not have emotional control wreck their cars and wreck other people's cars. But the concept is, when you don't have emotional control inside the crypto market, you'll wreck your finances. And then only then, when you've carried up all of these staircases to the top, then you buy and sell. What happens typically is retail gets in, they want to buy and sell, they don't know what to buy and sell, so they pick a lot of particular projects, and generally the projects that other people are recommending to them. What we do as crypto technical analysts, we scientifically track investor attention. We don't care what other people are telling us, we do our own research, and we pick the ones that fit our risk profile. Let's have a look at the main markets, and we understand that crypto is a really tiny market in comparison with the stock market and the bond market, but crypto is the next evolution of the internet, from Web 2.0, read and write, to Web 3.0, read, write, and own. Literally, when you buy crypto, you buy a stake in the ownership of the protocols that work within that extended internet infrastructure. And a lot of people don't understand that. That's why they get scared of crypto. It's just the upgrade of the internet, nothing to be scared of at all. And when you look at the S-curve of the adoption cycle, we're so very early in the growth rate of crypto, and we can see so many countries starting to adopt, and organizations. Yesterday we talked about Fidelity. We've spoken about Fidelity Investments before. They have 4 trillion USD assets under management. They're really big, and they're opening up the pension area for people to invest in crypto. Rule 225, Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. This may seem a very simplistic rule, but there's a lot of depth to it, and there are a lot of facets that people won't understand unless they've done the deep dive into the knowledge. The US economy's health is very strong. Q1, first quarter of 2022, sees the business cycle in expansion. We're getting inflationary pressure, but this is what always happens in this part of the cycle. What do we see in the US markets overnight? And why do we look at the US markets? Because they're the largest market on the planet by orders of magnitude. Masterclass students, you get my live chart in TM6. When we look at the VIX, we can see the VIX has overshot that area. It came up and punched through that resistance. It's come back now, but it's still quite elevated, and that's caused a more steep sell-off. What we can actually see in the NASDAQ 100, when we get these steep sell-offs, that's actually what we're looking for. These are prime borsog opportunities. But again, you need knowledge. It's not just simply a question. You look at the chart and you borsog all over the place. You must know what you're doing. Bond prices haven't been shooting up parabolically. This is important because we've seen the Nasdaq sell off really sharply and fear rise really sharply. But that's what fear does. It rises really sharply, and anybody who knows the psychology of the market understands when fear spikes, it keeps on spiking. But retail is very, very different from the smart money mindset. We look at this as an opportunity. Retail looks at it as an exit. We don't. That doesn't mean we don't take risk management. If you're in the stock market, you must do what is right for you. But this kind of behavior, in terms of crypto, it's really, really forgiving. The stock market can be really slow to recover. On the other side, crypto is incredibly fast. Not only does it have more percentage gains in it, but it also recovers far more quickly. We can see bond prices haven't shot up the wall. They're not confirming this spike in fear. We also see that gold is decaying. It's also not confirming this spike in fear. From that perspective, just looking at these two things, it's positive that price can turn around and come back and test at least this resistance. And we'd be looking for that. We want the price here in the Nasdaq 100 to get above that and to start repairing on its way up. But we're always mindful that the markets do what the markets do. We cannot control the markets. We can just be a good detective. And we can see more and more flight to safety, the DXY going up. When the US dollar rallies, it's typically on the back of a spike in fear, but it's also due to geopolitical events. It's a very, very complex thing to dissect the DXY. We've also seen that bond yields have come down a little bit and they seem to be basing. What's happening to oil? Oil is still under selling pressure. It's not broken out either way. It's kind of in a holding pattern at the moment, just trying to figure out if it goes up or it goes down. These things happen, especially in the stock market, and often in the stock market, you just have to wait. And looking at the put-call ratio, we've seen on average that we've got an increase in puts. So that's basically bearish behavior. We can use this as a counter trend indicator to give us some kind of understanding where people are thinking about the market. Generally, it's pretty wrong. When we look at the federal balance sheet, the Fed's balance sheet, it's still elevated. It's not coming down. We've seen a little bit of a kick up in the 10-year and 5-year break-even inflation rates, but they're starting to get under pressure. The Nasdaq sold off to a level of support, but just be aware that the Nasdaq has gone absolutely parabolic recently. It needs time to digest its gains. It's not healthy when things go up and up and up and up. Of course, everybody wants that because they want to be making money, at least on paper. But the concept, price is always moving in a wave. That means there's always opportunities in the market and always a chance to get out of the market if that is what you want. Bitcoin did not reflect what happened in the Nasdaq. This is very important. When I said Bitcoin cannot escape the gravity of the stock market, also Bitcoin can give us indication or indicators of what the stock market is actually doing. That's a hidden thing, a hidden facet of knowledge. We have a lot of support underneath Bitcoin's price, and it didn't dramatically sell down. Notice what happened in the Nasdaq. Bitcoin didn't do that so much. This is really important. The markets may be bottoming out. So how has the earnings season been going? Nearly, 79% of earnings have actually beaten estimates. 97 have missed. Just keep in your mind that Apple has its earnings coming out today. Apple is a very, very big company. It's huge. And actually, it can move the stock market, so just be aware of that. Just like driving, when you have the knowledge of how to drive, how to park, you can BORSOG the market. You can BORSOG the bull market and BORSOG the bear market. And it's always a profitable thing. When people get into the bull market, they just think they can only make money when the price goes up. And the bear market, they feel that they will lose money. You can actually make money in both bull and bear markets, and also consolidation. But you need to know what you're doing. Even over the past 24 hours, you can see there were many opportunities, but it didn't look like it yesterday at all. Let's have a look at how Bitcoin is performing. Bitcoin is currently $39,070. I'll zoom in there a little bit so you can see more effectively. It's really great to talk about where price may end up, and thank you to all of those people who had a go at it. It's very important because it actually gives you a certain amount of intuition about where the market could go. It's great that you test it out. Let's have a look at what happened here. You can see this support line. See how that support line actually caught Bitcoin's price action and pushed it. Where did it push it to? The resistance of 39,084. And Bitcoin has been trying to come up and up and up. It's just having trouble, but it's wanting to get there. I believe the Fidelity news that pension funds will soon be allocated a certain percentage to Bitcoin and other cryptos is absolutely massive news, because we know if there are inflows into Bitcoin, there are inflows into your beloved alts. It's awesome. Support and resistance levels are really important concepts to understand. When you have a support line, it's like a fence. We used to talk about Percy, the magnetic price sheep. Percy, this would be a fence, and Percy would be in the paddock, and Percy would be bumping around. He's really energetic, and he would come down to a fence and ping off it and get magnetized to the other fence and ping off that and get magnetized. It's kind of like Percy ping pong. Poor old Percy, get a headache. But these things are really important to understand. What could happen next? We could get a magnetization down to this 37,797 level, or even lower to this around 37,160. It's possible, but these fences are strong. When you get a strong fence, you're likely to get price bouncing back to the other side. Price is always moving in a wave, and if you time things correctly, you'll do really well on your borsogging, and that is what it's all about. Borsogging is an institutional smart money concept. It is not a retail concept. Please let me know if you picked up anything yesterday and you managed to turn it over, or you just picked up something and you're dollar cost averaging in. Please let me know in the comments, where do you think Bitcoin's price is going? Do you think we'll remain in B? Do you think we're going up to A, maybe make it into C or even D? Or do you think we're going down from B to E? Where do you think we'll end up? Every day when I get up, I think, how can I increase the blessings of our community? How can I help people? And one thing that I've seen, when people put that letter down, whatever you think the letter is, don't worry about being right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. What it's all about is understanding the process. I've been in the markets for decades and decades. If somebody had have helped me to understand how vitally important it is to get some sort of forward picture on price, I would have been really grateful. This is something that will very much help you as you go forward, and it will also facilitate your understanding about how many people can have absolutely different ideas. Many people will go for D, C, A, B, E. They'll be all over the place, but they're not necessarily wrong. It's all about momentum. It's all about how the market moves. Don't think in terms of right and wrong. And zone 1 and zone 2 people will live in terms of I'm right and you're wrong, but that is a very stressful place to live. You have to think in terms of probability. So just have a look at this chart. Where do you think the probabilities are telling us where price will go? And then just make your assertion based on that. Don't worry about being right or wrong. Our community is really loving and kind. We don't get into anything like that. It doesn't even cross our mind. We're zone 3, zone 4 people. Let's zoom out a bit and see how the longs, measured in green, and the shorts are doing. We've seen increased confidence in the shorts, and no wonder the price is coming down, so the shorts are feeling more and more confident that price is going to go down. But what are the longs doing? The longs are thinking, well, I'm more and more confident that the price will go up. Let's see how that interplay is happening. We can see that there's been 174.63 million in liquidations across 45,000 positions. In the past 24 hours, about 60% of those liquidations were long, and that means 40% were short. What a lot of people do when they get into crypto, they go in through retail influencers, and the influencers shell particular links that are for this long and short trading, and they always have big bonuses. Get $1,000, get $2,000. Unfortunately, that free money is not free. They will take that all plus interest. You need to know what you're doing. It's just like driving or parking a car. You need to know the rules. There are rules on everything, and there are a ton of rules in the crypto market. If you understand them, you'll be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. And that's what our community is all about. What I'm basically saying, just keep away from leverage trading, because it will wreck you. It doesn't matter if you're short or long, it will get you eventually. And you don't want to win all the races and lose the last one. Let's have a look at the total liquidations. We can see both longs and shorts getting liquidated, and we can see more longs getting liquidated of late than shorts. When we look at total futures open interest across Binance, we can see it's in an uptrend and it's crossed over a level of resistance. When I look at futures open interest, this is actually what I see, a line of support, a bit of positive air there, a cross in resistance. I see that markets are actually improving in health, whereas it may not look like that. You may see Bitcoin's price coming down and say, ooh, egad, it doesn't look good. But I think it does. But of course, in saying that, we must always make our in advance probabilistic choices. Know what you will do and stick to your word. If prices go up, what will you do? Will you sell? Will you accumulate? If prices go down, will you sell? Will you accumulate? What will you do? Or sit on your hands. There's a variety of things that you can do. If price goes meh and everything goes boring, just goes flatline, what will you do? Let's have a look what's cooking underneath the projects. And we can see Kava is out in front, up 17.85% over the past 7 days. Ape up 14.25% over the past 7 days. CRV up 7.57%, GRT 1.13%, Tron up 0.81%. And when we look at these particular ones, what are we seeing here? We can see, for example, CRV may be getting close to some sort of breakout. It's not guaranteed. When we look at all of this, we know that Bitcoin's price activity is actually the gravity of the whole crypto market. You can see everything moving up and down with it. Sometimes you have top performing projects that will momentarily leave gravity, but they are always pulled back into it. And it goes for the low ones as well. You can see this particular one, that'd be interesting for us to look at. That's Waves. Waves is actually getting pulled up. It was quite low, but it crossed above resistance and it's making its way up, crossed above again. So just keep this in mind. Either the top or the bottom can turn around, and of course you've always got the middle section, but it's really good to focus on top projects. You want the ones that have the market's focus. For example, yesterday everything bar Ape was selling off. Ape was still positive. And look at Ape today, it's still positive, but now Kava is taking the crown position. And this is the way the crypto market will go. If we look backwards in time, we can see that we can get spikes up. This was XYM, and you always get these spikes all the time in crypto. You get things that spike up and then they decay. This was Decred, DCR. Things go spiky and collapse, spike and collapse. You must be aware of how to actually deal with this kind of action. And the major thing dominating your profitability is your psychology. And you cannot have a psychology of fear or conflict. People that engage in fear and conflict actually destroy their own accounts. You must be calm. It's really, really important. Mastering fear is very, very important. And we've got rule 723 about mastering fear. When you master fear, you get rid of the bears in the market and you become independent, just like what Free Dentist said previously. If you'd like to get a KenFT, you can come across to the link in the description, and that link will take you to OpenSea. The reason I put the links in here, these are the official NFT. Scammers are everywhere. You've got to be careful. Scammers are on Twitter, they're on YouTube, they're everywhere, and they're always trying to steal. So how do I do my best to protect you? When you look at this particular wallet address, every single wallet address is unique by nature. You can see F43D. You can see that I joined OpenSea in November of 2021 and CryptoTradingKS.eth. I also have 859 NFTs here, and you can see the various KenFTs, and we just saw that bear one as before. You'll notice every single NFT has that code, that wallet address stamped on it. This is not by mistake. This is because I want you to know when you're buying from me and when you're buying from a scammer, and I don't want you buying from scammers. When you see price moves in waves and buy on red, sell on green, the wallet address will be shown. This, you just remember, that F43D, you can see it here. It's a little bit hard to see, but you just look for it. And when you see the price moves in waves, just getting a bit rowdy, F43D, just right there. The easiest way to avoid scammers is just go through the link in the description of this video. So that's actually why I put F43D there on all the NFTs. And you can see it, I've just highlighted it more on the recent ones. I'm just highlighting it so that you can see when it's genuine. Just remember F43D. So we've got a scammer. Is it F43D on the wallet address? No, it's not. This one is a scammer. And you can see this particular person has only one NFT, and it's also on the Polygon network. I do them on the Ethereum network for the moment. I'll just let you know that scammers are everywhere in crypto. You have to protect yourself. And so far, everybody's been protected from this particular one. But just realize these people just exist to try to deceive other people. They're very short-sighted in their thinking. So I'm always seeking to be one step ahead of them and protect you however I can. But you protect yourself with knowledge. I'd also like to thank Cyberfile Crypto. Cyberfile Crypto has been doing the investigation that we always do on different teams, and he found this particular scammer was airdropping tokens Axie.io, and these were just stock images, and unfortunately a couple of people got caught with it, but thanks to Cyberfile, he saved, or she saved, many other people, and this is really beautiful. I would suggest that you don't go anywhere near hooking anything in as far as airdrops. You need to be really, really careful. That's why I suggest that people stick with centralized exchanges. And you've got to be careful with your wallets as well. Connecting your wallet to something like OpenSea is okay, but even hackers try to replicate OpenSea. You must be careful in the crypto space. It's all digital. And that's why I teach you all of these things every day. I see so many channels can actually warn their people about different things, but they don't. The way to protect yourself, just go to the description and click on links inside the description of this video and other videos that I've posted out. This is the way to protect yourself. All of these links are official links. They're from me and they're from the channel. If you'd like to reach out and follow me on Twitter, I've got the link in the description of this video, as always, to protect you. Let's have a look into the main market. What we can see is Bitcoin has lost its support line. But one thing that you always want to keep in mind, crypto is exponential by nature. It's always moving up and down. It loses support all the time, regains it, regains it, loses it. And we just need to see if we get across a level of resistance here. When looking at Ethereum, we can see Ethereum is following Bitcoin's gravity, and we can see the same thing with Binance Coin coming up to a level of support. And we can see XRP has lost that level of support, but it doesn't matter too much in crypto because of this exponential price action. This is not the only line on this chart, so to speak. ADA is coming up to its support line and it's been wobbling around it, trying to maintain it. You can see Solana, a lot of strength, Luna, even more strength, and AVAX just under, but it's actually sticking around this level of support. Please let me know in the comments which one of these 8 do you think is the healthiest from an overall bullish perspective. When we look at Gala, Gala is under negative price momentum, but we know all price moves in a wave. And also Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. We're looking forward to Gala doing an up wave, and it will come. Matic is also under negative pressure, and actually, interestingly, 93% of holders are either at a loss or have broken even in Matic. That's really important to understand. Most people are sitting in a loss right now in Matic. 85% of people from on-chain metrics are at a loss or have broken even in Gala. One thing to always be aware of is the exponential price action of crypto. It's not like the stock market. Things can go exponential literally within days and wipe all of these losses out just in spikes. And when we look at Doge, look how spiky Doge is. It tends to spike up on news and collapse down. Spike up on news and collapse down. What typically happens, retail investors and traders get in when things are spiking up. We actually start to exit as we're spiking up, because we know we can always buy lower. That's rule number 5. And we also know that sharp angles reflect. These are the rules of the crypto market. When you understand them, it's just like driving a car. We all know how to drive a car if we've got a license and how to park it, but people do so to varying degrees of effectiveness. We saw that Veracity used to look really good, but it's had a sell-off recently. But we know that all cryptos are very spiky by nature, and VRA, Veracity, is no exception. We actually love these long tails. We're getting some because this is actually the best place to buy. I'll just zoom in there and explain. I'm not recommending that you get into VRA or anything like that. I'm just trying to bring out an idea. You can see the price came down 51.19% and then it rallied 99.14%. This is why professionals always trade on the right side of the percentage. That's rule 359. Be on the right side of the percentage. Make the percentages work for you. And then what happened? VRA tanked 55.4%. This is what cryptos do, and they do it all the time. But what happened next? It came up 99.25%. It wiped out all of those losses, and if people were borsogging correctly, they would have done really well. And what do we see now with VRA's price? It's come down 46.72%. Where could a possible sell be? If we just had a recovery to this price, it would go up 87.23%. Please bear in mind, you want to be on the right side of the percentage when you trade crypto. And remember that all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. So if you're investing but you don't know how to trade, you're missing out on all of these kind of rules. They're just not taught in investing school. We can see Rose yesterday had that Coinbase listing and it pumped and then it dumped. And this is what we often see with Coinbase listings. We get a particular piece of news and it looks really good, but it's often very short-lived. You need to be aware of these things. That's why we don't seek to buy when it's green. We seek to buy when it's red. You never miss out in crypto. It's just far too volatile an industry. We can see Rune is coming down and trying to figure out if it goes up or it goes down. And that fate is very much tied to what Bitcoin does. Let's have a look at IOTA. IOTA has been selling off, but just like we talked through Veracity and Icon, it's all the same. These particular waves can be very, very profitable if you know what you're doing. Just think about it like driving a car, but you need to know the rules of the crypto market. And when we have a look at Doge, Doge was doing really well on that Elon offer, 45 billion takeover of Twitter, and then it's come down. Now it's starting to base and probably going to turn around. But what do we see? It's just following Bitcoin's gravity. This is really important to understand. When you understand what a major role Bitcoin plays in the crypto market, things are never the same again. But again, you have to understand all the facets of the diamond, and there's more than one. There's so many. When we look at SAN, the metaverse has been very hard hit, but it's a very, very powerful opportunity. We've seen in Ape recently that the interest in the metaverse is definitely there, but Ape is capturing a lot of the attention. Well, good on you, Ape. Everybody needs their time to shine. And when we look at SAN, it's being beaten down. 84% of on-chain addresses are either in loss or at break-even with SAN at the moment. Let's have a look at Axie. When you look at Axie's chart, you would say, well, this is much weaker than SAN's chart. But something really interesting, only 14% of holders, address holders in Axie are either at a loss or at break-even. That means the majority are still in profit. And we can see that all of these cryptos are following Bitcoin's gravity. This is nothing new. This is what the crypto market does. But understanding Bitcoin's gravity is not easy. It's not as simple as saying, oh, I understand. They move together. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Just detecting the nuances is the key. We can have a look at Mana, Decentraland. 60% of addresses are either on-chain, are either in profit or break-even. And we can see there's a lot of negative price momentum here. But we really love negative price momentum. For example, on days like this, when everything is basically going down the tubes, we're loving this, we're just leaning into it, and everybody's saying, don't buy the falling knife, don't buy the falling knife, and we're saying, yeah, we catch falling knives, we love them. And then what happens? It turns around. And this is always the case in the crypto market. Price is always moving in a wave. Psychologically, it's really hard and difficult to deal with borsogging down, especially if it just keeps on going down. For example, here with Mana, it came down 46.48% from that particular peak, and then it rallied up 108%. This is something to always be aware of. It takes psychological strength to actually borsog. We can see NIA continues to retrace, but this is really healthy. We want price action like this. And I can hear you say, Ken, I just want the price to go up and up and up and never come down, just like Ape. These things correct badly. They misbehave. When they go up and up and up and up, they come down really, really hard. Please be aware of it. This is just another internal rule in the crypto market. We can see Engine Coin coming down with Bitcoin's gravity. Ape continues to do really well. And congrats everybody on your profitable trades with Ape. Let's have a look at Chiliz. Chiliz is coming down. It's looking good. It's got a lot of support below it. And SLP is continuing its downplay, but we know when the spike comes, and it can come very sharply and often a lot of times when people don't expect it, and that spike can be very, very good to the upside. Some more community favorites. We can see Theta token just coming down to a level of support. And when we look at T-Fuel, both are basically just under Bitcoin's gravity, just moving along with it. When we look at IOTEX, it's following Bitcoin's gravity. Can you imagine what's going to happen when Bitcoin turns around and it's looking like it's in the process of doing so? That doesn't mean that we can't buy lower. We know the rules. You can always buy lower. EGLD, following Bitcoin's gravitational pull, as is Phantom, as is CHR, as is LRC, and Cosmos, Atom, is doing the same. We must always be aware of what Bitcoin is doing. Always keep in your mind that life is always waiting for you to be ready for abundance. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. Life resets daily. We know better, we can do better. And what you want to do is to bring out the uniqueness inside yourself. And however that uniqueness actually shows, it must come out with positive excellence. Because if it comes out under negative excellence, that is harming or hurting other people. That always leads to problems in your life. You don't want to do that. Positive excellence is absolutely the way to go. Please let me know in the comments what you think about a positive excellence life trend. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you as part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and to the CTKS ambassadors for mentoring masterclass students, and of course a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our globally extended family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass, our official NFTs, and a whole lot of other really great links for you. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenario. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care, and see you next time. Bye for now.